Hi, I'm Lung Huang. I am the Vice President of National Accounts at Arbitron. Arbitron is a company that's over 50 years old. We have been doing research where we start off in television, of all things. And 3 years after us, Nielsen started radio. So somehow we both switched. We'll be talking at this ARF about the portable people meter, the PPM. And what the PPM does is it's a cool little device that we've been working on for a few years, more than a few years. And what it actually does is you can't hear it, I can't hear it, dogs, cats can't hear it. The only thing that can hear it is our actual device, and that's the PPM. And so we encode radio, television, anything with an audible signal, and we're able to capture that media exposure to the person. So we're actually tracking the person, not the medium. So it's a very complex thing, because when you're thinking about your daily lifestyle, you're not thinking about, I'm listening to radio, I'm listening to radio on the internet, I'm listening to the radio in my car. You're just listening to content, whether it's radio or television. And we basically kind of follow that person throughout the life cycle. We're in the top 48 metros in the United States, which it's about 54%. And we're pretty excited to be here at the ARF.
So just quickly, when you say it's tracking, I mean, is it tracking any radio signal that's bouncing off me, or something that I'm specifically listening to?
We track, we work with our broadcast partners, so they'll actually have to encode. So the technology is you have to encode your media, and then we'll be able to catch it. That's the basic premise. So anything that you can physically hear, and that's what our devices are tuned to, is the human hearing. So anything you can actually hear, you'll be able to capture. And this, the real benefit there is that, think of the realm of television. You go to a friend's house, and we're able to capture it there, because wherever the media is encoded, we can still pick it up, regardless if you're in home or out of home. And there's a lot of us who are very mobile these days with all of our devices and daily lifestyles.
So if, for example, for the Super Bowl, I went to a friend's apartment and 15 of us watched the Super Bowl. So you're saying that if Fox had your little signal, that, and I was wearing a personal people meter, that it would actually catalog that, hey, this guy's getting the Fox broadcast right now. Absolutely.
It's one of our exclusives, is that we are able to track the person no matter where they are. Other traditional measurements is more in-home based, and that they do a great job. Within ours, it's really wherever those people are, wherever they're consuming media, we're able to capture that, as long as they use our technology of encoding and the PPM.
So you recently did some research around kind of radio and TV when combined, the advertising effectiveness. Is that correct?
Yes. So one of the things that has been kind of a hot topic for research is, where do we put all of these people? So how do the two media of just radio and television just interact together? And really within this is we did a study with ESPN following the sports consumer with PPM. And one of the things that we are learning is the more media platforms you can track, the more people listen. But the real case is which people are really the high TV ones, which ones are the low TV ones, and how does one complement each other? And I think that's something that you're hearing throughout the ARF conference, is a lot of the different platforms are saying, how do we work together? It's one thing, everyone can say, oh, I bring this to the table. Radio brings a great reach. TV, it's a mass audience, but how do they really play together? And ultimately what we want to do is help the consumer, and that's really where we're working towards with our broadcast partners, is showing what is the true value here.
So what are you finding?
Some of the findings that we are is, as I said, with the makeup, you're seeing more video, you're actually seeing people who use it at the same time simultaneously. It's kind of the best available screen. So if you're more out and about, more likely you're going to be using radio as a medium versus television. If TV is the best form of measurement, best form of media, you'll find people are more likely to use that.
So basically, if I'm and you did it with ESPN, so I'm assuming it's around kind of sports, and so I'm listening to the AM Yankees broadcast, or Then I get home and I flip on ESPN or ABC or TNT or wherever the game is, and I'm consuming it through that medium.
Absolutely, and what the in today's environment of research, without something like PPM, you'd only just see TV. You go to Arbitron ratings, you'd just see radio. Now we're able to follow the consumer and see really where they interacting in their life. A 1 o'clock game on radio will outdo a 4 o'clock game start time.
In terms of total audience, or
total
in
audience.
terms of audience engagement, or what?
Total audience.
Okay.
And you'll see the level of engagement depending on the game. Obviously, if it's a better sports team, it'll be much better. But the NBA Finals last night will be a much more strong TV ratings, just due to the nature of the start time is a 9 p.m. start time. There will be a lot more people at home than out and about listening to radio.
So what are the implications for advertisers of the research?
The implications is really being able to see, I spent my money and investing in either it's ESPN, NBC, CBS, and what real value did I get out of it? Because they're already paying for it, but how does an integrated plan really look and feel with the consumer? It's one thing to look at, to sample this consumer, this separate one, but the exclusive things that Arbitron brings together is looking at that single consumer and how do they have their media behavior throughout the day, night, week, year.
Now, you did radio and TV, and I think a lot of people are interested in researching kind of TV and online video and mobile video. So are you doing anything around kind of, especially with a brand like ESPN, which has the television broadcast, they have the online website, and they can certainly stream to mobile?
Yes. Something that Arbitron is very proud of is that we are one of the 2 companies that was selected to do the 3-screen measurement. And the 3-screen measurement is with the Coalition for Innovative Media Research, and that's called SIM. So Arbitron, we're actually having our own separate panel where we actually have television, internet, and mobile measurement. So from the same panelists, we're going to be able to provide, using PPM technology as well as another technology that we have, we're going to be able to capture what audience viewing was viewed from that single people. So if you're sitting at home, are you on your mobile device? Are you on your on the internet? Are you watching TV? So I think that's really where the next great phase of media research we'll look at is, how do these all play together? And those 3 that I mentioned, TV, internet, and mobile, are something that people are very interested in. So it's a very exciting time.
So this is not something you started, you're about to start it?
We are recruiting our panel now, and in the media research realm, it is something that's a new topic for everybody.
And what are some, obviously you do work like this for clients, so what are some of the questions that, media companies want answers to? Yeah,
a lot of the questions is who was using what? So I almost look at, like different circles. So where does each one interact? So here's TV, here's internet, here's mobile. What parts are intersecting in just 2 of them, 3 of them, or and how does it kind of change based on the day, time, and overall lifestyle of the consumer? And those are the real understandings that people are looking for.
And then I guess another question would be, every media company is now selling advertisers kind of that cross-platform ad exposure. So it's kind of like, what is the effectiveness if somebody sees the Gillette razor commercial during the NBA Finals on TV, and then when they go to ESPN.com, and then when they go onto mobile, is there, is 2 + 2 = 5, or 3 or 4? Or?
Well, in each case, it depends on the type of programming. It depends on the type of platform. The more niche ones, you'll see the greater influence of multiplying things, because the smaller audiences. If you have somebody who is on a really niche format, you may see some big gains there. But overall, I think everyone wants to just get a baseline of understanding of where is the audience.
Switching topics, radio, you think of obviously music, but also news. So have you done any kind of research for, radio news organizations like NPR, or just is there anything nuanced about news delivered via the radio?
It's incredible. There's a lot of different types of research out there that talks about the engaging ones. It is a conversation. Radio is one of the unique things where a single caller can actually change the whole program. A call-in person can take the host or in a completely different direction that they wanted. So it's much more of a conversation. And one of the radio strengths is the localism. So when people are now talking about being very hyper-local, radio really kind of fits into that. But in the news organizations, they are able to have a high reach of people who go within the stations and listen to their content. So it's a pretty unique one. And especially coming up in the political season, that's something that people are looking at quite well.
Are you researching kind of online audio, so like podcasting, and so for example, we're just talking about NPR, WNYC, and then obviously I can go to their site and download the podcast. Are you doing any research around radio plus internet / download to your iPod or iPhone?
Yeah, we're definitely, there are some unique challenges on that, but we are definitely looking and finding ways of capturing that better. The most incredible thing about podcasting is, they, in the world of syndicated research and digital. In digital, they know exactly how many people are out there, but a lot of those are non-commercial based. And most of the syndicated research has been rallied around what's the real commercial value out of it. So I think that for what we do in our core, it hasn't served podcasting as well, but we are looking at new ways of measuring podcasting through PPM by encoding that and being able to provide audience and almost a double check to see how did it actually get consumed. Did somebody consume the whole podcast? Does somebody only take 10 minutes? How does that really work? And what does that mean for somebody who would like to consume that data? I think that it's the great thing about radio. Radio will still be around for a long time. And when you're thinking about podcasts, that's the actual content that has been around. So I think we're at the very early parts of it, and we're going to be seeing larger and larger audiences in the coming years. So I'm not one for big, bold predictions, but I do think that this is going to be a very hot topic for a lot of our content providers in radio.